I know we've only got to meet each other for a little bit, but I just have a huge respect for you and what you're doing for men's mental health. And I'm really looking forward to having this conversation and allowing other people to just see how amazing you are, and at the same time bring a light on a subject that most men don't want to speak about. So I just appreciate you for your bravery and your courage and your vulnerability for showing up and doing this with me.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. It's a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, let's see how much information, how much value I can bring to this chat, which I think is still
Yeah,
very underrated in our society.
for sure. So I'm gonna hide you, and then I want to make sure that we have that over on LinkedIn. So we're live over on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn now. I just want to make sure that people on LinkedIn are able to see this because that's where there it is. Um, just give me just a second as I'm getting this prepared. Christoph has like a nice following over there, and I want to make sure that they are able to find him in this podcast because ultimately it's all about helping others. And where are you at? Oh, it's interesting how when you're trying to do something and it just doesn't want to find the person you're wanting to tag. Funny how that works. There it is. I got you tagged now. Okay. And that's the beauty of live streams is sometimes we have hiccups, we have tech stuff. And so anyway, welcome everyone to episode 10. Show Up to Win presents Show Up to Heal. I am so glad that you're being a part of this today. And my next guest is just an amazing person. It's got a lot of mental health uh, experience, but also more importantly, he has things of value to give to other people. But ultimately, when I read his stuff, I was like, this was a dream guest for me. And I will bring Chris up right now. Chris, my man, how you doing?
Thank you very much, Dwayne. Now, awesome being here, man. Thank you very much for the invitation. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, so I do want to say thank you to Sabrina Johnson for linking us up. I like to just tell people, like, the people who link me up to some of these people, like, I just want with the utmost gratitude. So Christoph, let me just give me a sec, or Chris, let me read your bio because it's very, excuse me, it's very powerful, but also more importantly, it's just it allows people to really see what you're about. And so Christoph Carl Noll spent 16 years climbing in sales, marketing, and leadership. A four-time founder, the guy who always managed. Then, in 2018, the night before starting a new job, his body simply shut down. No warning. He'd actually listened to. Just the invoice of years of ignored signals. That collapse sent him into 5 years of rewiring, meditation, breathwork, and retraining in neuroscience and neuroplasticity. Today, he runs Lead Yourself First in Barcelona, coaching high performers to spot and interrupt the patterns running their lives. He calls the hidden cost of these patterns the default tax. Still a punk at heart, now aimed at the system that quietly make people sick. So, Christoph, how does that land with you, man? Like what you've been through and being able to turn it around. Um, and there's not a lot that you, here that also tells about the past, but also it just shows how the elevation of you. Like, how does that land for you?
Um, Looking back, reflecting on my past, lets me every day. I'm just very grateful for being alive. This sums it actually up, and this shows up every day actually in my morning routine. So because I speak to the universe, I'm grateful for every day I'm alive, I'm waking up, So because the past, and what you have read is quite accurate, -1 point, because it misses the point that this, what you were talking about, was actually already my second burnout. So because the body keeps always score, and this was, yeah, the second one was the highlight event that let actually, yeah, switch my mind into the right direction.
Yeah. So, man, I just want to say thanks again. So I want to just dive into this. So, so Chris, what do you feel like we're doing correctly? What do you feel like we're doing wrong? Like, what do you feel like we can do better with men's mental health?
What we are doing definitely good is that we are more and more talking about, but still not enough. And this is why we are here. And therefore, really, Dwayne, thank you very much for opening up this conversation and having 30 talks with 30 men who really show the vulnerability to, yeah, or to just open up, because this is the point. I think we men, you know, we have played roles for centuries. We were meant to be the hard guys who really manage everything, like you have read it clearly in my bio. And we grew up with this kind of, I would say, myth, with this kind of illusion that we always have to be the strong ones, we have to push through everything. And I think this is where we actually not only should, but where we have to become better. Because what everything has shown me from my past, from the people I meet, is that if we don't process our emotions, if we don't embrace them, manage or understand how to handle them, we always fall back where we once have been, and we stack up with everything, and at the end, yeah, like me, we burn out. So there's a lot we can do about it, but what we have to do first, I think, and that's why, thank you very much again, we have to speak about it. We have to spread awareness.
Yeah.
This is, I think, yeah.
No, I was gonna say I agree with pretty much everything you say, and that's been the really cool point about asking that question at first is getting everyone's perspective, and then being able to after the 30 days being able to have my own opinion, but also be able to take the whole perspective and walk around. So I appreciate that.
Good.
Appreciate what you said about me doing this 30 for 30. Um, one of the things that really sticks out to this is how you rewired through meditation, the breath work, and retraining yourself in neuroscience and neuroplasticity. Like this isn't some woo woo stuff. This is actually pure science. That's the other part. It gets tangled up at times about the woo woo neuroscience, neuroplasticity. How does this work? But like it's truly there. How did you discover this after the burnout, and then how did you allow yourself to be able to go, okay, I'm willing to do whatever other people aren't what I'm willing to do what other people are unwilling to do.
I mean, the thing is, I consider myself a natural learner. So, and when I'm interested in a certain topic, and for me it was not only my mental health, it was also my physical health, because once you experience an event, I mean, the burnouts were just the big events, right? But in between, there was also 4 years of teeth grinding. After my second burnout, I became not I became, I got a stress belly, or let's say, yeah, it's called, I think, a stress belly, right? Or a stress stomach. So, and I have gone through all the doctor checks, and I have seen so many doctor's offers you can actually not imagine. And so I wanted to understand why things happen actually to me, to only find out that I did those things to myself. And this was actually the beginning of the entire journey. And by the time I dug deeper in everything, it was like, whoa, okay. Now I was quite for some time on surface level, right? So it was about, okay, meditation, awesome method in order to regulate myself, or at least my stress levels. breath work, the same. I mean, breath work I do for 5 years, meditation for about 10 years. And the thing is, there are so many more things we need to understand about our brain, right? So, I mean, we all have our package to carry. I think you are not, after our little chat, you are no exception here. And I think many, many people watching it can relate to that. And when we once find out, okay, there's actually more behind, for me it was naturally to, yeah, dig deeper and see where it leads me. And I found out that many things, let's say, I had many coaches in the last years, right? So, and they gave me a lot of input. So they gave me the what is going on, they gave me the why is things are going on, but and when it came to the how, many coaches gave me, I would call them today's surface level work, which helps over the time. But the thing is, just asking you, how is it about your accountability to do stuff, to change stuff? Just
S-
asking you.
Yeah. So I was gonna say my accountability. I'm very disciplined because of sports. So that was the other aspect.
Nice.
So the things that I want to do, I have a like a checklist. Like most of the time it's mental, but I do have a board where I do write down like those disciplines, and then I go to that and be like,
Yeah,
okay, I made a commitment. Like I made a decision. The decision was this. So if I
yeah,
want those consequences of that to be positive, I have to, and that's where I'm also determined. So there's some things that are like kind of in my favor with that, but then there's also it brings into self criticism. It brings
yeah,
into like there's aspects of like we all have traits, and we have to realize that they're packaged for strengths and weaknesses. How do we make those weaknesses not be catastrophic? And that's why we do
yeah,
coaching. That's why we do breath work. But one of the things is when you mentioned that, and I wanted to bring was international medicine is solution based.
mm-hmm.
Western medicine is symptom based. So
Yes,
like if you came to a doctor here, they would just say, "Hey, here's a pill. Here goes a talk
yeah,
therapy, but we want to give you a pill. We want you to be in the pharmaceutical part." So that was
yeah.
what I wanted when you were saying all this stuff. I was like, this is the issue for the Western part. But go ahead. I still I'm following along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, for me, when I dug deeper, it was really about, okay, how the I wanted to know how the mind is working, right? So, and this is when I started to study cognitive behavioral coaching, and because I wanted to know where my behavior came from, why I repeated certain patterns, and where are actually the defaults that were underneath those patterns. So, and this is where everything came together for me. So, and this is why how I started actually to create 3 years ago a morning routine, for example, that serves me every morning. Yeah, you know, it's like there are so many people just waking up every morning and the first thing they're doing before the first real deep breath or a glass of water, grabbing their phone, for example. So this for me, my phone doesn't. I mean, I put my phone every day or every night in a flight mode, and it stays in the living room. And sometimes after my morning routine, I just sit on my laptop 1 hour after waking up, and then I forget about my phone, which is also amazing actually to think about it. So there is no doom scrolling. There are no constant artificial dopamine hits, you know. And but what I have to say about that is it didn't start it like how it is today. It was what I really can recommend everyone who want to change something in their life, especially when it comes to their physical and mental health. Don't start with the big stuff. Start little and stack up over time so the things will stick to you and you will create new neural pathways in order to follow them, you know, to keep yourself accountable. I mean, there are so many wonderful methods in order how we can make ourselves accountable, also without doing sport, you know, like you. So, because I'm also not a sporty guy, I cycle, I go hiking, but that's it actually. So, and if you don't have the discipline or yeah, to keep yourself accountable, Then start small, stack up, repeat, repeat, repeat. I mean, this is the only thing what counts.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to be athletic. And why I say that is like with hiking, like it's still one step. Like it's still left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Like
Yeah,
there's a system, there's a rhythm of it, but it still starts with that one step and build it upon.
yeah,
Same thing with cycling.
good point.
You can't pedal. You have to pedal. You have to be balanced. There's a lot that goes into it. So I think that all those kind of combined, we've categorized them different because of our
Hmm.
identities. So that's the
Yeah.
other aspect. Um, Tell me about how you got into running your lead yourself first, and how did that go from the breakout? I assume it's the second breakout where you really made these positive changes. And I love the fact
Yeah.
that I do want to say too. I do want to say that because you're talking about the morning routine, that's really where it starts. Is the morning, the
Yeah.
first breath, the first thing. And so, yeah. But where did that start with the with lead yourself first?
Look, the thing is, really looking back into my past, there were so many things I blamed external factors for where I am. And this is, I believe in something it's called the cause and effect equation. So there are people on the effect side, and these are actually, I would say, the majority of people on this planet. These are those people, happens to them, and these are those people who blame everything around them for what happens to them. And there is a cause side, and the cause side is when people take ownership about their life. And this is when things start changing, when your life starts changing, when your surrounding is changing, and when you finally create your own life and your opportunities for yourself. So and this is where actually, yeah, where lead yourself first started, because I deeply believe in this three words: lead yourself first. And I think, there's something when it comes to caregivers, for example, right? When a caregiver is not able to take care of themselves first, for example, to take care of their health, their mind and everything, how are they able to take care of more vulnerable people, like elderlies or people with whatever issues or challenges in life. And the same counts for me after 16 years in corporate as well as in startup environments. For leaders, for example, yeah, I have been team lead, I have been head of department, and so on. And I truly believe that if you want to lead others, you need to lead yourself first. And this is where everything came from. And I think our society, but also many, many organizations still lack when it comes to the development of those people. And this is where I would like to close the gap in the future. But not only for organizations in general, for everyone who's in need. Yeah. This is because, yeah, if you can't lead yourself first, who else you want to lead? And we lead all the time. We lead our friends, our families, um, teams. I mean, everyone we are surrounded with, we love. We are somehow a leader.
I think that's the other part of the question is like you're a founder. So that like as a founder, there's leadership, and how did how did that stress like how do you manage that stress for other people who are founders like myself of their own company? It comes with different stresses that they're not they didn't know that they subscribed to it when they became a founder or an owner, and they became a leader. That's the other aspect.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how you would tell someone that's dealing with that part, like how to help them deal with their mental health.
See, the thing is for me, like you said it already in the bio, I'm a fourth time founder. So three or four, no, 2 or 4 times, I really, yeah, messed it up a little bit. So, and only one time I sold a business. So I did well, but I also had to carry a lot of stress. So now it's the fourth time, and I learned a lot about stress, about or handling stress, about resilience, about how to manage my life actually, so I can start my day really chill, without the urgencies of others, without with boundaries to myself as well as to others, in order to manage or move what is important to me and to my business. So the thing is, what I have done wrong in the past was really thinking I have to handle everything myself. If you do that, okay, but do it slowly, do it relaxed, because if you stress yourself, because this is a fun fact when it comes to stress, most people don't receive stress from external factors. They're creating the stress themselves. Yeah. So, and if you learn that you take it a little bit more relaxed, then you get more stuff done as well. This is funny. I have very funny. I had a chat yesterday with a friend about exactly this topic. If you have an appointment and you have just 1 hour, and you're looking, and you have to get ready, you have to take a shower, get your shoes on, your clothes on, whatever, have to prepare some stuff on a laptop for this meeting, and you look every time on your watch, and you see how the time runs out, you're stressing yourself. But if you just do everything without, this is my experience, right? Without watching your watch, yeah, checking your watch all the time, you will. For me, it always works like this. I'm done 10 minutes before time runs out. So because I don't stress myself, I just do the things. But because, look, Albert Einstein said, time is relative. We perceive time all differently. And if we don't stress ourselves out because of watching on the watch or looking at the watch, we get stuff done. And this is how, I mean, it's kind of philosophical, but
No.
I like to live like this, and it works for me.
Yeah, it's amazing,
So,
and hopefully, someone who's listening that it'll work for them. Um,
yeah, hope so too.
so with the people who are where you were before the collapse, they're doing the new job, they're hustling, and then they're getting ready to shut down, and they know they're getting ready to shut down, like they can feel it.
Hmm.
What's your advice to them?
Oh, that's a good question. You mean when it's about people who are still in a 9 to 5 and a normal job, or and completely stressed out from the hustle culture and everything?
Yes.
I mean, the best thing is asking yourself the question, really to yourself, what I would actually like from life. Because this is a question that not hunts me, but that I carry with me for 5 6 years already. What I really would like from life, because in my opinion, we are not here for this little golden cage we have created, yeah, aka society. So we are here to create, to create, to create value, to create a life that is really worth living. And when we ask ourselves this question, what I expect actually from life, what I would like to have, what I would like to achieve in life, then some other questions will open up. So I think asking yourself really deep questions and answering them honestly, things will start shifting in how you perceive yourself and the world around you. I think this is a quite powerful method, which I also use with the people around me when they need advice.
So one thing that you talk about is the cost of the pattern that you call the default tax.
Hmm.
Can you explain what the default tax and like the positives and the negatives of the default taxes?
Yes. See, the thing is, I have done some researches and about exactly this topic. And the thing is, for example, our entire lives uh, or in our entire life, we are running on an autopilot, right? So everyone probably watching or listening has once heard the wording or the word autopilot. And the autopilot is what I call our defaults. Yeah. So, and without this autopilot system, we actually wouldn't be able to leave the house or to manage our daily life, because this is a resource saving system in our mind which helps us um, to do things automatically, like riding a bike, like almost sleep drunk, making our breaths in the morning or our breakfast, you know, or our coffee or whatever. So everything you can imagine, just walking as an automatism. So the thing is, when we change environments or contexts, and I'm speaking about this when it comes to changing a city, changing a continent, um, starting with a new language, changing a relationship, like from being single into coming into a relationship, or stopping with a relationship and going back into being single, which is actually even worse because a lot of emotions are involved. Or when it comes to organizations, for example, you have been a specialist in one, let's say you have been a salesy, yeah? You were a sales agent, and then at one point you come into, let's say, contract renewals or vice versa, or you're a specialist and you get promoted. This is our whole context and environment changes. Unfortunately, always when we do those changes, yes, many of us learn new skills, but we have created neural pathways as nervous system responses for certain tasks. For, you know, let's say you're in a relationship and you were always expected that your partner was doing the laundry, cleaning the bathroom, making your breakfast, whatever. And then you're at one point you're single, so you have to do this all yourself. So you need a new neural pathways, a new nervous system response, an alternative in order to do that all yourself. And in the beginning, it will be very, very hard for you. So it becomes easier over time. But this is the point that the moment to notice that we need that, this is a very important step, right? Like you said before, the starting moment with the cycling, with the hiking, with whatever sport we are doing, it's the important one. And so is it with the noticing, with the seeing. But then we also have to interrupt the old trigger, and then we have to fill the gap with a new response, with an alternative, which we create over time. So, but this is the point where we can also do this already before, in order to train ourselves cold on certain responses, in order to give our brain for certain situations an alternative when the partner is not at home and cannot do our laundry because she's on vacation with her girls, for example. You know what I mean? So that's why, yeah, we should train ourselves in order to be adaptable in every single situation, to use an automatism rather than our cognitive thinking, which uses a lot of mental energy. Because it will be harder, it might be frustrating, it will stress us, and then we are creating a lot of symptoms that are not useful.
That's a
That was
great
quite deep.
That's a great advice. I know. I mean, I know you're saying it's probably long, but so we have just a few minutes left, and
Mm,
so I want people to get to. I want people to know where they can find you, um,
yeah.
and it just however they tell the website, that type of things. And I feel like Chris, man, there's a book. Like, where's the book? We need to
There's a
talk about
book.
having a book. Yeah, we need to talk about having a book at some point.
Yeah, we should talk about that. I mean, I'm up to writing a book, but at the moment I'm still with an academic paper. But if people want to find me anyway, I have a website which is called leadyourselffirst.coach, or LinkedIn with my full name. You can see it over here. Note it down. Find me on LinkedIn, and yeah, I'm always open to chat. I'm always open to help. And provide value when needed. So this is really my mission here on this planet, Dwayne, is to make an impact, to help people, because we all deserve better in life. Especially men need nowadays more help, I think, than women, because I have found, and every woman who is watching, please don't kill me for that. But you are more adaptable than we men are. So from my experience, from my friends, my family. So yeah, we need that.
Yeah, so I agree. The women are a little bit more adaptable, and it's interesting how the brain works for them, and
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that. We'll leave
impressive.
it at that, and I'm sure there'll be somebody else to talk about that part. Man, I just want to say
One day.
thanks. Like I appreciate you just being able to come on and take time, and also it's it's a different time zone over there, so it's at night.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
so I
7 p.m.
seven.
7:30.
Okay,
No worries.
yeah, but I mean, it's still it's just like I appreciate the fact that you decided that you wanted to come on and that we were able to find you a slot. But most importantly, I'm looking forward to just having more conversations with you and inviting you to more podcasts that I'm doing.
Would be great.
Absolutely. And so I'm on this quest for 30 podcasts with 30 speakers. This is episode 10. Episode 11 will be tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.